Hi everyone, we're live. We're just waiting for people just to join us, ready for past. We just have another minute to go and then we'll begin. So if you're just joining us now, if you want to grab whatever you need ready, blocks, your belt, your mat. Okay, hi everybody. All right, so we're ready for a yoga flow. So it's going to be a yoga flow which is going to involve the whole of the body, so it'll get everywhere moving. If you haven't worked with me before, my name's Louise. I'm just getting kind of the hang of doing these online classes. So, forgive me if there's a few little mistakes and things. But before we start, if you just make sure that you're in good health before you start, so if you're not feeling well, maybe just watch the video through and then pick it up another time when you're feeling a little bit better. Okay, and then we're ready to roll. So if you want to grab yourselves your block to sit on. So when we sit, hang on, I just have to make sure that it has actually focused on me as I move back. I think I'm okay now. I think I move a little bit too quick for it. Okay. Right, so we're up high on a block, so you can make sure that your spine then is lifted. So make sure that you feel comfortable. Just rock out a little bit. Make sure you feel as if your bottom is as near to the block and the ground as you can. When you inhale, you want to feel a gentle lift running through the body, and as you exhale, just settling down into that. So just take a few breaths just to allow yourself just to settle. So maybe once you're here, just closing your eyes. So just bringing yourself into a nice quiet space. Time for you to spend just solely on yourself. So making sure with any of the work that we do in today's practice that we're not doing it with any pain involved. If you're feeling kind of any pain anywhere, then either back off from it. You're maybe just working a little bit too hard or a little bit too much. So we just want to keep it nice and comfortable and just moving with ease. So never feel as if you're really going out to your maximum on anything. Just kind of always have that little bit just holding back. So even with the skin, when we stretch the arms out, you don't want to feel as if you're completely rigid. Just have it a little bit softer. So softer all around, so the body feels a lot more pliable to work with. Okay. Now that we're settled, just bringing the hands together. We're just going to dip the chin down towards the chest and just bringing the chest up towards the thumbs. Just gently close the eyes and take a few breaths. So just being aware of your body, just being aware of how you're breathing. I'm not feeling as if you need to change the breath in any way, just simply observe. The breath is often just a reflection of how we feel inside. So when we start to pay attention to the breathing, we'll find that then that the body starts to follow as well. It'll start to calm down. starts to unravel. So just allow the exhalations now just to wash over you. Just feel with each exhalation we can just rid any drama of the day or the week, the month, the year. Allowing it all just to slip away. So we can just then take the focus just solely onto yourself. And then set your intention for your practice. So your intention just being whatever it is you're looking for in today's session. Again, just making sure that it's personal and heartfelt to you. Once you have that intention, just bringing the thumbs up to the space just between the eyes. So just to reaffirm. And taking the hands up over the crown. Your intention is then out there. And draw the hands back down towards the heart center. And releasing the hands down to the knees. And just softly blink the eyes open. So just with the hands on the knees, we're just going to start just to rock the pelvis forwards and back. So we keep the chest fairly level. And just easing the pelvis just forwards and back. So rolling forwards and back on the sitting bones. Now you'll feel your sitting bones, those hand bony bits that you're just sat on. Just feel as if you're coming to the front edge of the sitting bones and then back. Front edge and then back. And even though the hands are on the legs, we're not feeling as if we're pulling ourselves forward. We're just getting the spine to move. So we start to get that little bit of mobility in the small of the back. When we feel as if we've got that, then we can bring in the rest of the chest. So we come forward and then just rolling back. Come forward and rolling back. And again, feel as if it is the body which is moving that rather than, and the spine moving and the muscles around the spine rather than the hands pulling you forwards and back. So watch we're not just nuzzling forward with the shoulders. Again, make sure that it is the spine which is getting to move. And then we're back to upright. We're going to keep the hands just onto the legs and take a big circle round. So a few times going in one direction. And then we can change direction. I've done 3 times one way and 3 times coming back. And then placing the hands down onto the floor. Take a little wriggle out in the shoulders. So we can start to get right in between the shoulder blades. And moving round. And then coming back to upright. Place your right hand down, left palm facing up, bringing the arm up, keep the hips pinned down as we take the arm over the head. And then back over, and we're going to the left side. Arm going over the head. Bring it back up. We've got another side going over to the right, and back up again, and then over to the left. And then back up. One more time to the right. And back up, and one more time to the left, and then back up again, and roll the shoulders back. And a little wriggle out. Okay, so we're going to grab hold of your blocks. So hopefully you've got 2 blocks. If you haven't, you can grab some books again to use, or if you've got a really firm cushion, you can grab that as well. So we're just going to place that down, one stacked up on top of the other one. I'm going to miss out the small of the back. Just take so kind of roughly where the lower part of your rib cage is. So if we take that into there, laying back. Let the arms, inner arms and palms face up towards the ceiling, pushing out through the heels, and then taking the head back. So you want to feel as if there's more of an opening going on in the chest rather than in the throat. So we can still kind of get that nice stretch out along the neck and still feel as if the chin is slightly tucked. If it feels as if it's tipping too far back, then just place something underneath the head. So keep pushing out with the legs. So giving a nice stretch out through the back of the body and also opening up a little bit in the chest. Now from here, we're just going to let the hands come down by your sides, palms facing in. Inhale as you take the arms over the head. Now, even if the hands come down to the floor, just push away from the floor and then feel as if you're stretching back to the wall or the door behind you. Heels are still pushing away. And then we can point the toes and then push out through the heels. So keep the stretch with the arms and then bringing the arms back down by the sides. Place the hands down. You can bend the knees and push yourself back up to sitting. Hold on to the backs of the legs and pull and lift up. And then again, that nice little cat stretch, just moving forward and then moving back. So getting the spine to make those movements and all the muscles around the spine to make the movements rather than you pulling just with your hands. Okay, so now that we're up, we're going to just remove the blocks and roll ourselves down and place your 2 blocks underneath your hips. So with the bottom up on the blocks and holding on to the sides of the block. So start off with the legs bent and make sure that you feel as if you're really drawing back through the belly, squeezing in and zipping up. So we keep hold. Now, if we let go of the belly, we'll feel as if we're bananaing over the block. So we need to keep a nice tight hold there as we start to stretch the legs away. So pushing through the heels and feel the stretch along the backs of the legs. Still holding onto the block, we can squeeze the arms in, lift the chest up a little bit. So again, we're getting more of a stretch out into the back of the body and also into the chest. And then point the toes. This time keep the toes pointed, take the arms back, right back over the head. Squeezing back through the belly. So nice long body stretch. And then bringing the hands back. Flex the feet again, and then bending the legs in, so back into your crook knee position. Press down through the feet, lifting up. I'm going to slide the blocks out of the way, bring the hands underneath the back. So we're going to clasp the hands right down to the webbing on the fingers, lift one shoulder, pop it under, lift the other shoulder, popping under, push down with the arms, push down with the feet. So we get a good high lift. Just hold just a couple of breaths. And then slowly start to bring it back down, releasing out with the shoulders, come all the way back down. And just let the legs just gently rock over from side to side. Okay, so you have your 2 blocks still. You're going to place one on your ankles, front of the ankles. Now the other block you're going to have back behind your head. So taking a big long stretch there. Now you imagine that there's a lead weight pushing down onto that block with the ankles and onto the block with the hands. So pushing into, we've got to push up, trying to lift that lead weight up. Now with the ankles, with the weights on there, I want you to feel as if you're trying to push up, but not actually bring the feet up away from the floor. Squeeze back through your belly. Drawing on the rib cage, so squeeze back a little bit more. Feel as if you're pushing into that force, trying to raise your arms, trying to raise the legs. And we'll feel that connection then in the belly, right into the core. You'll feel that, you start to feel a little bit of shaking. We keep drawing back, drawing back, drawing back, and still feel as if you're trying to push the hands up and raise the legs. Keep squeezing back one more time, and then release. Okay, right, so then we bring the blocks in. Keep them in the hands. So you're going to take the right hand back behind your head, holding onto the block. We're going to straighten out through the left leg, and we're going to take our left hand, and we're going to push the block into the leg. So the leg is going to come up, So we're perpendicular to the floor. So the ankle in line with the knee, in a line, and we have the foot flexed. Push the block in. Now again, feel as if you've got a weight on the ankle, a weight on the arm. So we're trying to lift those up, we're squeezing the belly, but this left hand is pushing into the leg, leg pushing into the hand. The head can just stay down, we just squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in. You start to feel that in the belly. Imagine a weight on this hand, imagine a weight on that left leg. You can take that left leg up ever so slightly if you want to. Keep both feet flexed, squeezing back to the belly, squeeze it in, squeeze it in, squeeze it in, and release. Okay, so swapping over. So we've got left arm back, we've got left leg up. We're stretching away with the right leg. We're taking our right hand, we're pushing it into the leg. So push it in, we have both feet flexed. We're squeezing back on the belly, squeezing back on the rib cage. So arms stretching back and still feel as if we're getting that little bit of a lift. So we squeeze in. The more we squeeze that hand, pushing it into the leg, the more we squeeze the leg, the more we'll engage those core muscles. We can start to bring that right leg up off the floor if that feels okay. Keep squeezing in, squeezing, drawing the belly back. Pushing the hand in, squeeze the leg into the block, draw the belly back, and a little bit longer, and release. Whew. Okay, so hopefully you will have felt that in your core. If you haven't, message me and I'll let you know where you're going wrong, because you can feel it. Now, again, just with your two blocks, place them back behind. Just a little way. So we'll have the hands out in front. So you're in your James Bond mudra. So we interlock the fingers, stretch out through the index finger. Straighten the arm away. So we slowly go back just to where the block is. Holding there, holding there, holding there. Squeeze your belly back, squeeze your belly back. Keep the arms stretching forward. Point the toes, squeeze your belly, and then slowly come to lifting up. Okay. And then again, going back down. So rolling down, squeeze your belly, squeeze your belly, squeeze your belly, squeeze your belly just to the block. Keep the arms stretching forward, point the toes. There's hardly any weight on that block. Just holding there, holding there, holding there, and then coming back up again. Okay, next time we go down, we've got the option of raising the legs once we get there. So we're going to start to roll back. Rolling all the way back down to the block, hardly any weight on that block. We have the option of keeping the legs here or raising those legs. So holding, squeeze your belly back, squeeze the belly back, squeeze it back, keep the arms pushing, and a little bit longer. Oh, and we're there. Okay, well done. So we can move the blocks just out of the way for now, and you're going to come over onto your hands and knees. So now just taking the big toes together. Take the knees out nice and wide, bottom back towards the heels. So arms, we're going to stretch them forward. Forehead down to the floor. So remember, more importantly, to keep your bottom right down to the heels rather than the bottom up and your head down. If the bottom doesn't go down, lift the head, place the bottom down and place a block underneath your head. Otherwise, just keeping the bottom back, head down to the floor. Stretch those arms away. Take a few deep breaths. Okay, now use the stomach muscles and draw yourself to come back up to sitting. We're going to take the legs out a little bit wider if we can. And then once we're there, hands are down, stay looking straight ahead. So keep the bottom pinned down and then slowly start to come forward that little bit more, and then the forehead goes down. So again, take a couple of breaths. Just notice how that feels. Notice whereabouts you're feeling it. So full attention on the breathing. Keep the belly just gently drawn back. So it should be drawn back now the whole time. That's going to give you the support through the whole of the body. Okay, then from there, use the stomach muscles and pull back up again. Just bring the knees back together and we're coming up into tabletop. Okay, so just if we bring the feet up, take the hands slightly further forward. Slowly start to come forward. Just a little way down and then push back up again. Okay, and then one more time. So coming down and then push back up again. Bring the feet down, take the bottom back towards the heels and the head down. As soon as you've taken one long deep breath and after that exhalation, again bring yourself up onto a tabletop. So bring your knees in, closer together. We're going to tuck the toes under so we get a stretch along the soles of the feet and start to sit the bottom back towards the heels. From there, bring your hands back. Now, for some of you, maybe just fine here. If you're able to, you can come back, just sat back onto the heels. So make sure that every toe is involved in that stretch. So you don't want a toe flying high, you want to be able to give a good stretch out on the toes. Take a little twist round just to one side, take a little twist round to the other side, and then come back to the center. Okay, placing the hands down, push back, just rock over, so we're just, again, just balanced onto the toes. You can bring the hands up. So finding that balance point. And hands are going to go down by your side. You're going to bring yourself up. So you're going to just start to push down through the feet and you can start to work it through the thighs. So really feel that lift as we come up and then placing those heels down. Okay, well done. So just come into the top edge of your mat. So standing nice and tall, roll the shoulders back. Bringing your hands in. Take a breath. So just bring your thoughts back to, again, to your intention, which is set at the beginning. Let that carry you through your practice. Dropping the hands down. Inhale, arms going up over the head. Exhale, bend the knees. Bending forward, coming all the way down to the floor. Inhale as you come up to halfway. And exhale back down again. Now, bend your knees as much as you need to get those hands down to the floor. Just take a moment here. Again, now if you can, keeping the hands down, look forward and see how high up the door or the wall that you can see. And then just tipping the head under. Now take a big stride back on that right leg. Take a stride back with a left. So you're in a plank position. Knees down, bottom back towards the heels. Keep the toes tucked this time. Again, so we're not just going onto the tops of our feet, keeping those toes nicely tucked. And then again, use the stomach muscles, bring yourself back, coming back up to sitting. So feel that pressing down through the feet so we get a nice stretch along the feet. Hands come forward again. Come back up onto your tabletop. Chin and chest comes down. Slide through, lifting up and relax the feet. Now bring the knees up away from the floor if you can. Otherwise, you're going to be knees down and then come up to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. If you can mind, knees are off the floor. We roll over the toes and come up to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Just edge your feet in just a little bit. Take a little rock over from side to side. Keep the chest heading back towards the legs. And then look forward. Start to bring your weight a little bit more forward. Start to walk the feet in. Hang the head down. And again, taking the arms wide, come all the way back up and drawing the hands in. And then again on the other leg. So drop the hands down. Inhale as we go up. Exhale, coming all the way down. Come up to halfway. Look forward. And then releasing the head, tucking the head right in. And then taking that left leg, nice big stride back. Taking the right leg back. So again, we're back into our plank. Knees down. Again, bend the legs so we have the feet up. Take the weight slightly forward, coming down, and then push back up again. One more, so we come down, and then push back up again. Relax the feet down, bottom back towards the heels, tuck the toes under, sitting back. And again, pull back through your belly, sitting back, pushing back into the toes. It's time to stay back onto the toes, bringing your arms forward. Interlock the fingers, turning the hands over, and take the arms up over the head. So watch we're not jutting out with the rib cage. Keep it tucked in, keep the tailbone down, and then bringing the arms down. So releasing the hands, bring them forward, back into your tabletop. So toes are already tucked, we're just going to take it straight up into Ardha Mukha. Edging your feet just a little way. Take a little rock over maybe from side to side. Keep the chest heading back. And then come right up onto the toes. Bring your weight forward. Start to walk the feet in, but on the toes if we can. Okay, and then taking the arms wide. Inhale as you come all the way up and draw the hands in. Okay, just take a breath. And then drop the hands down. Inhale, take your arms up over the head. Exhale, go wide. Come all the way down to the floor. Again, inhale up to halfway. Lengthen, look forward, and as you exhale, take it down, drop the head right in, tucking the chin in. Take your right leg, nice big stride back. Bring that knee down. We're going to flatten out with the foot, taking the arms up over the head. Again, palms facing forward, and then bringing those elbows back. So really lift up through the heart center, roll the shoulders back, shoulder blades pulling back and down. Keep sucking in and up on the belly. Taking the arms up over the head, bringing the hands down to the floor. Now I'm going to start to pull back on this front leg. So going into half Hanumanasana, so half your monkey pose, and then come forward. So stretching forward into it. Then again, pull back, straightening out in that front leg. And then again, come forward. So that's 2. And then once more, so we pull back. You can let the toes lift up a little bit and the foot lift if that feels more comfortable. And then come forward. So that's 3. So hands are pressing down, toes tuck under on that back leg. Stretch that leg out and front leg back. Okay, knees down. Chin and chest this time, sliding through, lifting up. So either knees down and coming up into Ardha Mukha, or we can have the knees lifted, roll over the toes and pull back. Edge your feet in just a little way. Take a breath or 2. Maybe spreading out with the toes. And then we're going to start to lift up with that right leg. Take that leg up nice and high. Squeeze it in towards the chest. The chest is then going to come up and over the wrists. And then planting that foot down. Step it in. Arms wide. Inhale, come all the way up. And bringing the hands down. Okay, so same on the other side. So dropping the hands down. Inhale, taking the arms up over the head. Exhale, go wide, come all the way back down. So we inhale up to halfway, and then exhale as we go down, tucking that chin in. Taking the left leg, nice big stride back. Okay, bringing the knee down, so flatten the foot, raising the arms. Once the arms are raised and we turn so the palms are facing forward, we draw the shoulders back. So you'll feel that stretch coming right from that back foot, right up through the front of the thigh, lifting up through the chest. Shoulder blades are rolling back and down. Let the arms go back if you can a little bit more. Okay, then arms lift up. So we'll lift up right out of it. Hands come down to the floor. So half Hanumanasana. So we start just to rock back. Again, if you feel it's more comfortable to lift the foot, lift it. You just want to be feeling that gentle stretch under the leg. So that was 1. And then again, so we pull back, feel a gentle stretch, pulling right up towards your bum cheeks. And then we come forward, easing into it. That's 2. And then again, so pulling back, nice stretch out through the leg. And then come back again. And that's 3. So tuck the toes under on the back foot, straighten that leg out. Front leg back to join it. Okay, we're in a plank. This time you can either do your knees, chin and chest, or if you feel you're able to, we come down into chaturanga. Push over the toes, lifting up. And then again, everybody meeting back up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Edge your feet in just a little bit closer. So just making sure that you reset yourself. You can just lift the toes, edge the chest back, keep the belly drawing back. And then we're lifting up with the left leg. So taking that leg up nice and high. Keep the leg as straight as we can. Then we're squeezing that knee in towards the chest. Pull it right in. Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. Take the weight of the shoulders going over your wrists. Place that foot down and step it in. Taking your arms wide, inhale as you come up. And exhale, coming back down. Okay, so how are we doing? Just take a couple of breaths. So we're going to start now just to add in some side planks, Vasvisthasana. And we'll work them with, so once we've got into a side plank, and we'll look to raise the leg and then bringing it forward. Okay, dropping the hands down. Inhale as you take the arms up over the head. Exhale as you take the arms wide, coming all the way down. Again, by all means, if you still feel as if you need to bend your knees at this point, then put a little bend in them. So come up to halfway, we're looking forward. And then back down again. So we're going to take our right leg back and then the left leg back. Okay, so we're into a plank position. We're going to turn. So we've got one foot, if we can, on top of the other and raising that top arm. So stretch the arm up as much as we can. Now, if we can, we lift the top leg. Now, from here, we're bringing that leg forward. So we bring it round, up, and keeping the arm raised. So if you weren't able to lift the leg, just get yourself into the position now. And then we're looking up towards that top hand. Then bring that top hand down and taking that front leg back. Okay, so from here we're going to do straight over to the other side. So we're stacking one foot up on top of the other one. We're raising that top arm. We're reaching up with that top arm. Then we can start to raise the leg. From there, bring it through. And we're reaching still, just looking up. So if you were able to lift the leg and to bring it through, just get yourselves into the position. And then bringing that top hand down. And take that front leg back. Knees down. Take the bottom back towards the heels. Keep the toes tucked. Draw your belly back. And sit back again onto the heels. Take your arms forward. So the way you clasped your hands before, make sure that you've changed your interlock. Turn the hands back over. And raising the arms up over the head. Bringing those arms down. And place the hands down onto the floor. Come back up onto your tabletop. So from here back into your plank again. Now this time I'm going to raise up with the right leg. You're going to cross that over. And we almost sit down and then we'll lift up. But it's more still like wild thing. So we're not going right over. We're still just lifting up towards the ceiling. And then we can bring that hand back down again. We just flip back over so the bottom is staying fairly in line. It's not lifting up. So then we can go straight onto the other side. So we lift the leg. We flip it over. And then we lift. So reaching up with that top hand, or pull away from the lower hand. Bring the arm back down, flip it back over, back down onto your knees. Keep the tops of your feet pressing down this time, bottom back towards the heels. And with the head down, just bring your hands back just by your feet. So if you need to, you can just rotate your wrists here. Okay, after the next exhalation, use the stomach muscles just to bring yourself back up to sitting, and you sat back again onto the heels. This time taking your arms back behind you, interlock your fingers. Again, right down to the webbing on the fingers. Roll your shoulders back, pulling the arms back and down. And from here, we start to bring the head down. We come down, we're taking the head down onto the floor. We lift the bottom up as we take the arms over the head. So have the feet pressing down just to help stabilize. And then bringing the arms down. Pull back, use the stomach muscles, bring yourself back up again. And then this time just changing the interlock. So we have again, your unusual type of clasp behind your back. Roll the shoulders back and down. And then head down. Start to come forward again, placing the head down. Roll onto the crown of the head and taking the arms up and over. So giving a tremendous stretch out through the shoulders, the front of the chest. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, draw back through your belly, and then again bringing those arms down as we roll back. And we're back to upright. Okay, release the hands, bring your arms forward. So tuck the toes under, lifting up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Lifting up with your right leg. Take that up nice and high. Squeeze it in again towards the chest. Step it in. So from here, we're going to keep that back knee lifted. We're going to keep that left hand down. We're going to take a nice twist here again, just lifting up with that right hand. So taking a few breaths, feel the twist happening through the belly, through the chest, through the top part of the spine. Legs nice and strong. That lower hand is aiming to pull up away from the floor. Nice and steady in your gaze. And then bringing that hand back down. Okay, taking the leg back. So we're into our plank. And then pull back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana again. Raising up with the left leg, taking that leg up nice and high. Bring that leg through. So squeeze it in, placing it forward. We're going to keep that right hand down as we start to open up through the chest. So giving those lovely spinal twists again with that top arm reaching up. So make sure we draw back a little bit more through the belly. Enable us to get a little bit more out of the twist. Okay, and then bringing the arm back down again. So taking the leg back. Okay, we're back into our plank. Knees down. Relax the feet. Just bring the chin and chest down. Slide it through, lifting up. So once we've gone to what we feel is our maximum, come all the way down to lying down. Take the hands slightly further forward. We're just coming up into Bhujangasana, but not lifting up too high. Just get those shoulder blades just to squeeze together, but back and down. Tops of the feet stretching back. And then releasing down. So keep the forehead down onto the floor. Bring your arms back, interlock your fingers. So right down again to the webbing. Roll the shoulders back, pulling the arms back. Now thumbs are going to push into your bum. Keep the tailbone tucking under. So we take a nice big deep breath in. As we breathe out, we scoop the belly back. We're just going to give the head a little lift, stretching the chest forward. Keep the tops of the feet pressing into the floor. thighs are pressing down, pubic bone pressing down, drawing the arms back. So aim more of a stretch forward and back rather than a lift. And then slowly releasing back down. So this time we not only lift the arms, but we're lifting the legs as well. We're going to change the crossover of the hands again. So the other finger on the top, roll the shoulders to get that reset, drawing the arms back. So inhale, as you exhale, scoop the belly back, we lift the head, arms go back, we lift the legs, shooting back and shooting forward with the top half of the body. And then releasing down. So just let the hands go for a moment, fully commit to that breath. And then bringing the hands forward again. So just pretty much level with your rib cage. Have the toes tucked under. Now you can either come to the knees first and then up into Ardha Mukha. Otherwise we come up through Chaturanga. So we just make the body as strong as we can, as straight as we can. Squeeze into the belly. Draw those arms in. We push, we lift up and we pull all the way back. So we can just step in just a little way. We're going to squeeze the belly back as much as we can. Bend and straighten the legs, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Now make sure that our hands are really no wider than your shoulders. So when we jump the legs forward, we're going to jump the legs and take them more towards the outsides of the hands. So we squeeze the belly, squeezing, then take a little jump as we look forward. Okay, so our hands are forward, then we can start just to come up onto the toes. We're going to come up into Bakasana. So our hands are nicely spread out. So knees are clinging onto the arms. So we're going to cling on. We're going to look forward, looking forward, lift one leg, lift the other leg up. Squeezing into the belly. And then placing the feet back down again. Start to straighten out with the legs. So heel, toe the feet back in. Head down. Grab hold now of your big toes. So we're holding onto the big toe, we're going to start to lift and look forward. So keep the big toes pressing down. So Padangusthasana. So we're going to start to lengthen forward as much as we can with the spine. And then take your elbows nice and wide as you come down. Then once more, so looking forward. And then exhale as we come back down. And then look forward, releasing the hands. So hands just going just in front of the feet. Now taking the right leg, a nice big stride back. The knee's going to be slightly bent in that back leg, right up onto the toes. Front leg is bent. Start to raise the arms. From here, taking the palms forward. Bring those elbows back so we're lifting the chest. Lifting, and rolling back as much as we can. Back leg is staying slightly bent. Okay, then taking the arms back up. We're going to take our right hand down to the floor. So right hand coming all the way down, left arm reaching up. So again, we'll go into that twist. Then bringing that top hand down, both arms are lifted. Then bring both arms forward, slow and controlled as you bring it down. Back leg is staying slightly bent. Okay, as soon as we're there, we straighten out in the back leg and then step it in. So now taking the left leg back. So remember, keep that back leg slightly bent. So front leg, we're pulling up away from it. Take both arms up. Palms facing forward. Roll the shoulders back. So keep the chest lifted up as much as you can. So back leg is bent so we can edge those hips forward a little bit more. And then bringing the arms back up. So we're now taking our left arm, we're placing it down onto the floor, keeping that right arm up. Again, working into that nice spinal twist. Bring that top arm through, so it's coming down, lifting up. And then slow and controlled, bring it down to the floor. Okay, straighten out through the back leg, take the front leg back to join it. Bring your knees down. Flatten out with the feet, take the bottom back towards the heels. So rolling the shoulders back, again bringing the hands clasped together behind the back. Roll the shoulders back and down, pulling down. Okay, undo the hands, bringing the arms forward, back onto your tabletop. So lifting up into your plank position again. So we're going back over, taking a little bit more now into wild thing. So we're going to start to lift up with your right leg, take that leg over, almost sit down, and then this time lifting up, take the arm back a little bit further. So we're lifting up more of the chest up towards the ceiling. So pressing down through that foot, lifting the hips up as high as you can, and then bring it back round. So we can place the hand down first, then lift the leg, spin back over into your plank. So we don't have to kind of lift up too high. So now onto the other side. So we're lifting up with the left leg, we cross it over, we almost sit down, and then we push through, lifting the chest up towards the ceiling, taking the arms back. So let that arm hang back a little bit further. Those that can bring the hand down towards the floor. And then we bring it back in, making sure that that hand goes down first, and then we take it back over. Bring your knees down. So taking the tops of the feet back and down, then we sit back again towards the heels. Roll the shoulders back, bringing the hands back, draw back and down. Okay, release the hands, taking the arms forward. And I'm going to bring our right leg through. So bring it all the way through. And for a little bit of extra padding underneath that back knee, you can always just fold your mat up. Now on this one, make sure it's like a long lunge. So if you don't want to be right on the kneecap, so just bring it through a little bit more. Okay, we've got it? Right, so we're going to keep our left hand down. We're going to start now from being here. We're going to start to raise that leg. We're going to take our right arm back. So we've got right knee forward. We're going to take the right arm back and grab hold on the little toe side of the foot. And when we're there with it, then we can work a little bit more into the twist. We get a little bit more of a stretch out through the front of the thigh as we turn and we look back. Now you may be able to catch the foot. If you can't, don't worry about it. If you'd attempted to bend that leg just to bring it up, then that's fine. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. So don't beat yourself up if you've not got hold. So we can open up the chest, feel the stretch to the front of the thigh. And then we can release, bring the arm back down. So we can undo the fold in the mat. And then we're going to take that leg, just placing it back. Okay, so from there, bring your left leg forward. So if you need to, just fold up, you might get a little bit of extra padding underneath that knee. Scoot it back a little bit further so you're not just right onto the onto your knee, onto the patella. So you need to move it back a little bit from there. Okay, so we're going to now start to raise that back leg. We take our left arm back. If we can, we grab hold from the little toe side. If we're able to, we can take a little twist as we look back. So you'll feel a long stretch out along the front of the thigh. We also start to get that opening up even more through the chest and that spinal twist. Good, and then we bring it back, release from there. So once we've got that foot down, we can take the leg back and release the extra padding. We can take the bottom back towards the heels. Again, take the hands round, change the interlock. So rolling the shoulders back and down. So pulling the arms down, and again, head down. Come forward, take the crown of the head onto the floor, lifting the bottom up, taking the arms over the head. And then bringing those hands down and rolling back up. Okay, so grab hold of your two blocks, just place them back into the centre again, and then coming back over onto your bottom. So our hands are going to go back into your James Bond mudra. If you can, take those blocks a little bit further back. So arms are reaching forward, toes are going to be pointing. So we're going to roll back from the belly and go right back. So we just feel the edge of those blocks, just the very edge. Lifting the legs, stretch the arms forward. So keep pointing out with those index fingers, squeeze back through the belly. Squeezing back, holding. And then legs down as we come back up. Okay, we're going to do one more time. So we start to roll going back. Keep the arms stretching forward as much as you can. As soon as we've found those blocks there, we're not resting totally onto them. We're just going to raise the legs. We're stretching the arms. We're squeezing back through the belly. Squeeze it back. You can probably feel it's getting to me back, hearing in my voice. So we're all sounding all quivery, like a jelly. Good, and then we come back up again. Okay, so we've started to get right into the core, so we can then move the blocks just out of the way. Now, good thing not to just lose that in the belly. So we're going to go into an inverted posture, into Shastasana, into your headstand. If you're not wanting to go into that, you can do dolphin pose. So with dolphin pose, let me just show you first. You're going to have your hands no wider than your shoulders. You're placing your arms down, having the palms facing up. So, and keeping that little bit of a distance. So once we're there with it, then you can bring your knees in, hands are pressing down, and we start to lift and straighten out through the legs. So we can either hold there. If you feel you need to have the hands together, then that's fine. But you're just working on that lift and being in that inverted posture. If you want to go into Shastasana, do it where you're pulling the knees in as much as you can in towards the chest. So again, same setup on your hands. Head is down. So the crown of the head down onto the floor. Walk your feet in, walk them in. One knee in, other knee in. So squeeze in towards the chest. So you really start to engage the stomach muscles. Dropping the feet back a little bit, and then see if we can just get those legs to come up nice and smoothly. So once we're here, we're squeezing the legs. We're still drawing into the belly. So you're going to hold here for a few breaths. I'm just going to slowly start to come down. So we're going to start to, when you are ready to come down, drop your heels back a little bit and then bring your knees in. So we squeeze in, we squeeze in, we squeeze in, we squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in. Oh, and the feet come down. Okay, so just take a couple more breaths. Those that are in it, enjoy that pose. Find that peace and quiet in that pose. If you're in your dolphin pose, it will probably feel quite challenging by now. So come down, take a breather, just get your head down for a moment. Take a few breaths. Okay, so on your next exhalation, if you're still in Shastasana, then slowly start to bring it down. So curling down, slow and controlled. Use your stomach muscles as you pull in to release the legs down. And then, although we don't really need to release the neck because of being in dolphin pose, we'll all do as well because it's good practice to do after inverted postures. So, and especially when your build-up is towards Shavasana. So when your head is on the floor and we have pressure towards the neck. So it's a good practice just to build this in. So interlocking the fingers, take the hands behind the head. You can draw your elbows in. Now push your head back into the hands. Just pushing back, holding there just for maybe the count of 4, 5. And then let the hands slide up the head. And sliding away. And then do again. So push the head back into the hands. And let the hands just slide up the head. And then release. And then again. So push the head back. Chin just dipping as we just slide the hands up. And then release. Just resets the neck, so it'll feel good. Okay. So Matsyasana, fish pose. Now, if you're not wanting to lift up in the pose, there's an alternative way to do it, either having your blocks like we did at the beginning. So when you have your blocks there, again, you can just let the head go back and just hold in there. And just stay there for a few breaths. If you are able to do it on your own without the blocks, elbows down by your side, and we can push down, taking the crown of the head onto the floor. Now, if the crown of the head is right onto the floor, if the chest is lifted enough, then you'll find you're not really needing to have the weight onto your elbows. So the arms can just come out, stretching out. We can point the toes. If you're stronger in the back, you maybe find that you can lift the legs. If it feels a little bit much, then bring the legs back down. So we're going to hold here just for a couple of breaths. And then the legs down. Use the arms, the elbows for the support, just to lift back up and to come back down. So take a couple of breaths once you're down. And then bringing the knees in towards the chest. Squeeze in, a little rock over from side to side. You can either roll over to the right side to bring yourself up, or just rock yourself up to sitting. Now once you come up, we're just going to sit, just straddle the legs. If you feel as if you're tipping back, so rolling back onto your pelvis, just place something underneath your bum just to help kind of lift your pelvis up and just to tilt it forward slightly. So we move back, so I'm still in the shot. So legs, you don't have to take them too wide, just a nice comfortable wide stride. Now push the hands down behind you, lift the chest. Shoulders rolling back. Now I'm going to place our left hand just underneath the right leg. So it's sliding underneath. Now with your right hand, you're going to bring that arm up and we're going to take it over towards the left foot. Now if it touches, then you want to be drawing that underneath rib through even more. I'm looking up underneath the arm. So we take a breath there. And then coming back up. And then the same on the other side. So slide the hand through, bringing your left arm up, take it over and bring it right over the head towards the foot. So if we can, we draw through on those lower ribs and you come through even more. Now my arm is slightly covering over my face, which I'm conscious of, so I need to kind of really keep my arm up a little bit higher and aim to bring my chest through more. And then slowly start to come back up. Okay, we're going to bring the right leg in. Take the left leg forward. So making sure that the hips are square. Press down into the floor behind. If the knee is flying high, just take a block or something just underneath there. So pressing down with the hands. And then taking the arms up over the head. You're going to exhale, come forward, reach hold of the foot. So if you're not able to reach the foot, then grab yourself a belt just to hold on. If you are able to grab hold of the foot, take all of the fingers and the thumbs behind the foot. If you're able to go a little bit further with it as you come down, you're going to reach hold of it'll be your, we've got the right leg in, so it'll be the right arm coming forward. And then lifting the head, release, and come back up. Straighten the leg out. And then the same on the other side. So we can bring that leg up and out to the side. So stretching away through the right leg. Taking the hands back behind first, keep a good lift. And then raising the arms. And then when you're ready, exhale as you come forward. So remember, if you're not able to get hold of the foot, we're holding onto the belt and pulling easing yourself through. So kind of think a bit more of the foot pushing away to bring you forward rather than you just pulling. Okay, if you are able to, you can take the fingers and the thumbs around the foot. We lift as we come forward. If you're able to go a little bit further, we're bringing our left wrist forward and holding onto that. And then inhale and come all the way back up. Pressing the hands down, back behind you as you straighten out with the legs. Okay, grab one block. This is for your final twist. So we're sat up on a block. We're just going to bring the legs up so both legs are in a crooked knee position. I'm going to take the hand to go across, grabbing hold of the legs. So it's going to give us a little bit of a leverage for twist. So we're going to sit up nice and tall and then taking the arm right up and round. So we're open up through the body, placing the hand down. If you do have your other block handy, my arms are slightly short, so I can press my hands down into that, keep the chest lifted. Again, on any of the twists, if you work into what you feel is your maximum, you find that you get stuck in that. So ease off a little bit, work with the breath, just to enable that twist to happen. So keep moving just with the breath. And then inhale, exhale as we come back round, keeping as much height as you can. So for our twist going around the other way, we're taking the opposite hand, grab hold of the legs across, inhale, lifting up, taking the arm back behind, pressing the hand down, returning, we're looking back. And then inhale, lift, Exhale as we come back around. And just straightening those legs out. Okay, just walk yourself forward. So we pull the flesh away from your bum, pulling it back by just kind of sliding off the block. So we feel sat nice and tall in Dandasana, pressing the hands down, keeping that lift. And then just relax the legs, relax the shoulders. And if we move the blocks just out of the way, we're going to come down into Shavasana. Now you can either use your blocks underneath the legs, or if you want a blanket underneath there, then you can do. So they would just be going underneath the legs and just resting there. Hands are just going to rest onto the belly. Now, just before we actually get down to lying down, I have with me a box of cards. So I'm just going to read one card just to set us so we can take the thought of the card just into our Shavasana. Pick a card. So I'm not going to really look too much. I'm just going to pick a card out to see what it says. Oh, I help create a world where it is safe for us to love each other. So, oops, where am I going? There we go. So that is our affirmation, which we're going to take into our Shavasana. Okay, so that's for all those that were watching during this. You will see that is your card. Okay. So if you want to bring yourselves to lying down, so making yourselves comfortable. If you need to, again, have a blanket or something over you. And once you're lying comfortably, just maybe get the legs just to roll out and roll in, roll out and roll in. The arms to roll out, to roll in, to roll out, to roll in. See them rolling out again. If it feels more comfortable, you can just bring the hands in and just rest them onto your belly. And just bring the chin in slightly, and then just turn the head just from side to side. So you feel as if there's a release at the back of the neck. Now just with the eyes closed. So again, just allow the attention just to focus just onto the breathing. Onto the words on the card. I help create a world where it is safe for us to love each other. And taking that affirmation into your relaxation. So just allow the eyes just to sink back in the sockets. And even though the eyes are closed, again, just think of closing the eyelids. Just allow now for any sounds you hear just to be soft sounds. The skin on the cheeks just slip down towards the ears. Noticing the coolness of the air as you inhale, the warmth of the air as you exhale. the space inside the mouth, the lower jaw releasing. And as it releases, just noticing that release at the back of the ears. And the throat starting to soften. Back of the neck releasing. Back of the head broadening. Feel a softness to the shoulders. And each time you exhale, feel that softening to move down both arms simultaneously. Past the elbows, the wrists, to the hands, the fingers and the thumbs. Feel a softening move from the top of the back to the mid-back, to the small of the back. And then down to the hips, the buttocks. And simultaneously down both legs, past the knees, the ankles, the feet and the toes. Notice the gentle rise and fall of the belly each time you inhale and exhale. And as you exhale, allow the belly to sink back even deeper, moving back towards the spine and then down towards the ground. And then taking the focus of the breath just into the solar plexus, soft spot just below the rib cage. Again, as you exhale, allow it to sink back deeply towards the spine and towards the ground. And then allow the awareness of the breath just to settle at the heart center of the chest. Soft, subtle movement. As we feel a sense of peace, calm, and content. Again, the words on the card: I help create a world where it is safe for us to love each other. So just taking 3 long deep breaths. Okay, so just over the next few breaths now, just start to gently move the body, being aware of every movement that you make. Being aware of every sound. Texture of your clothes, the skin against the clothes, the taste in your mouth. You open your eyes, being aware of where you are. As you make the movements a little bigger, then just bringing yourselves just back up to sitting. Just joining me with the palms together. Again, just close the eyes, just dip the chin down. Bring thoughts back of your intention. And taking the hands up over the crown. Slowly start to draw the hands down. It's the Ajna chakra, the third eye, our intuitive center. The Vishuddha of the throat. We speak our truth and listen well. Anahata chakra, the heart center, a center for love and compassion. Manipura, in the solar plexus, is our will and our drive. Svadhisthana, in the sacral area, for our ability to change when we need to. And the Muladhara at the base of the spine, for our strength and our stability. And just bringing the hands back to the Anahata chakra. And although your practice was for yourself, and you'll reap the benefits of your practice, just bring to mind someone you feel could do with a little bit of help right now. It doesn't even have to be a person, it could be your cat or your dog. And just bring them to mind. And then dedicate your practice and the energy of that practice to them. And softly open the eyes. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. And if you want to join me again, there'll be a subscribe button somewhere at the bottom there. If you want to subscribe, press the bell as well next to it and you'll get the notifications. Or you can always visit www.SucramYoga and see what I've got going on there. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. See you soon.